Y10K fractured. Chapter 6. TJ lay on his bed half awake. He had slept through breakfast. Lunch was coming soon enough. Maybe he'd mess with his computers. Weather. That was still the thing. Storms. Forecasting. He had once wanted to chase them. Then came Twister. That cured him of the idea real quick. These days, a studio, or maybe field reporting, sounded a lot safer. He stretched, staring at the ceiling. Thought about working out. Dismissed it. Football? Dismissed that too. His father? No, not going there. A crash downstairs. TJ sighed. The gremlins, probably. But no yelling followed. No scolding. Just silence. That wasn't right. The realization hit just as his door exploded inward. TJ hit the floor, rolling off the bed. The smell of scorched fabric filled the air. He slid underneath, reaching for his phone. Too far. Exposed. Think! Hands grabbed his ankles. He was dragged out from under the bed. Henry Jordan? Henry looked up from his bunk. Something was off immediately. A woman stood at the open cell door. No guards reacting. No alarms. Nothing. Who are you? He asked. Your family needs you. He snorted. That's funny. Most of them hate me. She didn't react. Your family. Your future. Henry rolled his eyes and stood. Still, no one noticing. Lady, I don't have a family. No one that wants me around. She sighed, impatient now. We don't have time for this. Tyburn, handle it. The world went black. They reached the cabin just in time to see a figure drop from TJ's back window, hit the deck, then the ground, running. Smoke poured from the shattered frame. Eileen shouted into the phone, voice breaking as she tried to relay everything at once. Tim shoved Trent toward her. Stay here. Then he was inside. Smoke alarms screamed. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. From the road, the Washburn's truck came into view. The fire was out quickly. Too quickly. Eileen stood in the yard, numb, as the truth forced its way through the shock. TJ was gone. And just like that, her world went dark. The blizzard swept into the valley from the northwest with a fury that bordered on intent. Flight was impossible. Even walking in such conditions would likely prove fatal. A servant entered the private study, followed by a houseboy carrying an armload of firewood. You went out for wood in this? Taurus asked, aghast. Underground tunnel, Majesty, the servant replied calmly. We never stepped outside. In this wind, it would strip the skin from a body and freeze what remained. The houseboy knelt and arranged the wood in the cold fireplace. We have tunnels to the smokehouse, woodshed, greenhouses, and other outbuildings, the servant continued. We can operate through the entire winter without seeing the surface. They connect through the kitchens? Taurus asked. I've never seen the entrances within the palace proper. That is correct, sire. From the servants' quarters, kitchens, and guard barracks. You must show me when time allows. Whenever your majesty wishes, though his highness is already familiar with them. A soft tap at the doorframe cut the exchange short. Taurus turned. Santron stood in the doorway. How are you still here? Taurus asked, surprised. I never left, Santron replied, crossing toward the now crackling fire. "I sent a messenger to Aramithica before the storm hit. Then I found myself detained. I regret you're stranded here." "You are hardly master of the weather, sire," Santron said with a small shrug. "I'll simply wait it out." The servants withdrew, closing the door behind them. Silence settled over the study, broken only by the fire's crackle and the distant howl of wind. "You're frustrated," Taurus observed, gesturing toward the sideboard. "Trouble at home?" "Frustrated, yes," Santron admitted. "This matter has me chasing my own tail. The messenger I sent was to my archsteward. I've ordered an audit of County Greystone, but he brought news from Aramithica as well." "Marisima or Nekabit?" "My daughter," Santron said. "She's rejected another suitor and now demands instruction in swordsmanship." Taurus almost smiled. "She is your daughter, that much is certain. What will you do?" "I'm still deciding," Santron said, staring into the fire. "The court is full of opportunists who would take her hand and everything that comes with it. I had hoped to return quickly. Now," he gestured toward the storm. "Do not risk your life trying," Taurus said. "You'll serve no one by breaking yourself against that wind." Another violent gust howled past the windows, whistling down the chimney. The fire flared and guttered. The storm answered for him. "Incidentally," Taurus said, drawing Santron's attention, "what kept you here, beyond the weather?" "My investigation," Santron replied. "More leads are emerging." Taurus straightened. "Can you speak to them now?" "Not yet. I've set Tigris to work on something uncovered here. I don't understand it yet, but I know enough to proceed carefully. Move too quickly, and we'll be walking blind into danger." Taurus nodded slowly. "I am more certain than ever, then," he said. "My father was killed for what he discovered, or was about to discover." Santron gave a distracted nod. Another shrill blast tore down the chimney, nearly snuffing the fire. The storm had no intention of letting him leave. "I put the damage at 70 to 80 ruined magnums of premium white crystal mist," Deputy Steward Lortid reported. "They sat in the Archsteward's office. Lortid, Tigris, and the Master Vintner." The Vintner groaned aloud. Tigris understood why. White crystal mist was the finest wine produced in Aramithica, second only to select vintages from Mornicus. The throne itself was the largest consumer. Lormara followed close behind. "You knew the vines were diseased months before harvest," Tigris said, his gaze settling on the vintner. "Yet you chose to say nothing until we began fermentation. Now we face a shortage of one of our most demanded exports, demanded most by the throne itself. Even with 70 magnums lost, we have over half our production gone. Where do you propose we recover that deficit?" The master vintner wilted under the young steward's stare. At 15, Tigris had become the youngest archsteward in Aramithica's history. At 17, his authority went largely unquestioned. When he chose to focus, his mind moved faster than most could follow. For a moment, he reined in his irritation and sharpened that focus. "Lortid," he said, turning slightly, "how many magnums from 1073 remain in stock?" "I was just checking," Lortid replied, riffling through inventory sheets. "Another thin year. 16 magnums remaining from an original 112. The throne has pre-ordered 20, Lormara 15. That's 35 accounted for out of 70 total. So we can satisfy our primary obligations," Tigris said. but the remainder will be scarce. Lord Steward, the vintner said, finding his voice, the soil is failing. Without proper treatment, the vines cannot recover. It will worsen. I beg you, speak to his lordship on my behalf. I will, Tigress said. You know your craft. I have no reason to doubt your intent. For now, a page appeared in the doorway. What is it? Tigress asked, noting the foal's agitation. Tabithia, lady's maid to her ladyship, sent me. There's been another incident with the Countess. Tigress resisted the urge to sigh. It was Nekabit, Countess Stirlingfield, one of the few in the house who would challenge him outright. Again. Where is she? Locked in her suite, refusing entry to everyone, even her maid. Tigress gestured, summoning another page. Take my compliments to the Countess, he said. Through the door if necessary. Inform her I am coming to speak with her. The second page bowed and departed. To you, Tigress continued, turning back to the first. Summon a messenger to the corridor outside her suite. I have a report for his lordship. He requested notice of any further incidents. Both pages bowed and hurried off. Tigress rose. We will address the matter of the wine later, he said to the vintner. Lorted, come. They left the office, Lorted securing the door behind them, and moved quickly through the manor to the residential wing. Outside the Countess' suite, Lady Aramithika stood waiting, visibly concerned. Both Tigress and Lorted bowed. My lady, what has happened? Tigress asked. I don't know, she said. She was in the library with her ladies and Lord Mavraven. A messenger arrived with a note. She read it and began screaming. Threw Mavraven out. Books followed. Then she came here and locked the door. She hasn't spoken since, she added. Did anyone read the message? Tigress asked. No one thought to retrieve it. Tigress turned as she was also demanding instruction in swordsmanship, Lady Aramithika added. Tigress nodded once. Include that. The message is for his lordship alone. No one else is to hear it. Yes, Lord Steward. The messenger bowed, stepped to the balcony overlooking the apothecary's garden, and launched into the air. Lady Aramithika watched him go, then glanced uneasily at the sky. The weather is turning. Was that wise? We have someone who can read the weather, Tigress replied. Fetch her. A page hurried off and returned shortly with a rotund, cheerful, older mare in cook's attire. This is Lormadia. You can read the weather? Tigress asked. I must be outside to do it, she said, with a hint of amusement in her voice. There, Tigress said, indicating the balcony doors. She stepped out. A heartbeat later, she rushed back in, slamming the doors behind her, all amusement gone. Secure the house, she said sharply. You have less than an hour. It will be bad, very bad. Secure it now. I should send... No, she cut in. Do not send anyone else out. They will not make it back alive. Tigress went still. The certainty in her voice left no room for doubt. Outside, the sky darkened further. He found himself hoping, quietly, that both the messenger and his lordship would make it home.